guys, Mikey here, and welcome to Season 4 of the Comic Junkies Corner. Man, it has been a minute since I've said that. What's it been, like 2 months?
Bruh.
That long, huh? Well, you know how some shows have those super long breaks in between, due to unforeseen issues? I'm gonna stop myself right there, because that explanation is really boring. Anyway, you're here to talk about comics, I'm here to talk about comics. There's a camera filming me, talking to you, talking to me, talking to you about comics. Let's talk about some comics.
Talk nerdy to me.
Now it's February, guys, girls, geeks, and gamers, and as you all know, this is the month of love and black people. Yes, these things only exist in February. After that, we all just poof out of existence. Parents, don't let your kids listen to me unsupervised. The last thing I need is y'all yelling at me in the comment section because your 4-year-old came crying to you because he or she thinks that his or her black friend is just going to disappear from existence like the Thanos snap got him.
I don't feel so good.
But since we are on the topic of love and black people, I want to extend some love out there to a black artist and author who goes by the name of Trevor L. Wooten from Infinite Creations. Because today we're going to talk about the first issue of his new comic series known as The Infinite. Now, The Infinite is a 3-part indie comic miniseries that premiered in April of 2017. Only the first issue has been released, but the second is still a work in progress. Now, I am all about indie stuff, from film to comics to manga, you name it. I just love the genre as a whole. But do I love this book in particular? Let's talk about it. So The Infinite are a group of immortal men and women. Originally appearing in Egypt around 3000 BC, they are the first line of defense against supernatural phenomena, walking among us for years without us really knowing.
These exceptional beings live among us, the basis of our myths, gods among men upon our little blue planet here.
They kind of served as our guides, but over time they kind of developed a superiority complex. They stopped getting involved with normal humans, and eventually the harsh events that we know of in world history occurred without their intervention. But something very bad is in the works that will put both the Infinite and the humans in danger. What is it? I don't know, it's only the setup. But it's an interesting setup. The world building is pretty decent, it sets up the current events and rules pretty well, but I would definitely say there could be a bit more of it. There's a moment when a vampire appears and it's kind of jarring. You're kind of like, oh, I guess they exist in this universe. I have to point that out because you definitely don't want a Deus Ex Machina to come out of nowhere in a tense moment that hasn't been previously set up. So more detail would definitely be a benefit. The story is pretty interesting so far as you're introduced to the main characters, you start learning about them and their history. It's funny though because like Black Panther, I'm actually really interested in like the prologue. I want to know more about the Infinite. I want to know how they went from protecting us to the current status quo. And it's not that the story being told isn't interesting, it just kind of makes me hope that he'll write a prequel series one day. Just don't go all Lucas on us, Trevor.
Don't do that again.
So let's talk about the art. So the art isn't bad, but it isn't great. There's like this messiness to it that kind of works for it and also against it. People and shapes tend to be inconsistent from panel to panel, which kind of messes with your eye a little bit and makes it hard to get a beat on the character's features. This may just be something I do, but when I think of a comic character or a character from manga, I typically think of a distinct look. There's always this distinct look that pops into my head whenever I think of the character. And it's kind of hard to do that in this comic when the features change from page to page. That being said, there is this bit of stylishness to the messiness that kind of gives the panels a bit of life. I've seen it done in anime and manga before, the most commercial case being Kid Story from the Animatrix, where the animation is kind of messy, but it almost reflects the messiness of the situation. I'm not sure if that's what Trevor had in mind when he was illustrating, but that's just what comes to mind. Another interesting thing about the art is when it showcases different periods of time. The past is showcased in almost all black and white, but there are subtle differences in how the shadows are drawn. They're drawn slightly different in each period, looking similar to the way period pieces are usually filmed. Except for the 1940s, because he actually uses heavy shadows in the 1940s with an emphasis on primary colors such as red, kind of like film noir, so I thought that was a nice touch. All in all, it's not great, but for a starter to a trilogy, it definitely piqued my interest to read more. I'm not sure when the second issue is going to come out, but hopefully future me remembers to leave an Amazon link to the first issue in the description down below, so if you like a copy, you can have it. Have you read The Infinite? If so, what did you think? If not, what is your favorite indie comic? Post it down in the comments below. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Comic Junkies Corner of McBlam Entertainment, bringing a little bit of enjoyment to your day every day. And if you like talking nerdy with nerdy people on Thursdays at 2 o'clock, then this is the nerdy place for you. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.